Hey guys, Clumsy here. Welcome back to Clumsy Flying, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Time for some helicopter action again. This time though, we're going a bit, just a tad more classic, as you can see in front. I think this is from the 1940s, 1950s. Pretty classic helicopter, no automation, as raw as it gets. Let me greet everyone first before I give a disclaimer. Thanks for joining, everybody. Scotsman, ever first, bro, how are you doing? Train Sim World 2 hype? Enjoy the lurk. Super glad you made it. Working and lurking sounds good to me, man. Hope you enjoy. Hope we can maintain it a chill stream. I can't promise it with this helicopter though. Very, very hard to control. Totally a different beast versus the Airbus. Patrick, glad you made it. Thanks for joining. Fancy seeing you here. Hey Cameron. Glad you were able to join. And yes, no ATC. Very far from that still. Have to be able to aviate first, right? Aviate, navigate, communicate. I think we are very far from the communicate part. Thanks as well for joining, Tom, and thanks for the kind words. I wish I could stream more often. Yeah, schedule doesn't permit it at the moment though. We'll see if that changes in the near future. Fingers crossed. Thanks for joining, Jack. Yarr! Mr. The Bus himself. And Alex along with him. How are you guys doing? How was the hunt? Were you able to catch some? Find some after I left? Spooked away the animals? Thank you for joining, Chi. LL, how are you? Thank you guys. Glad you made it. Nice seeing the familiar faces, and if there are any new faces around, welcome as well. Thank you for joining. Looking good right here. What gave it away, LL? Is it the bell being showcased right in front of us? Maybe. Just a tad. Train Sim World 2 when... Oh yeah, put a kappa in there. Is that guy here too? Yeah, unfortunately, couldn't get rid of him. Okay. Yeah. Looks like a cane and a helicopter made the baby and that thing came out. It looks like a dragonfly, doesn't it? Like in all intents and purposes, it really looks like a dragonfly. It really shows you the basic design of a helicopter. Crash and burn. Thanks for the vote of confidence. A crane. Ah, a crane in a helicopter. Yeah, makes sense. I would have wanted to show the specs, but there isn't much. Yeah, entered service in 1946. You can't really see it. Let me hide that a bit. 1946 has been used for flight training, crop dusting, transport, medevac, even served in the Korean War. I'm sure some of you guys are familiar with the is it a movie or a TV series? MASH? I've only seen it from what Alex posted in YouTube, what he shared with me. I was not familiar of that series, but yeah, pretty cool. So yes, this is the exact helicopter in that show. And we will be flying it today as we continue with our tour of Greece in Sky Park. And speaking of Sky Park, guys, there has been a huge update. You can see these circles. Really cannot believe the beauty of the user interface of Sky Park. So they are now starting to introduce costs. Very early stages, but it's there. You can see certain rings, and those rings actually are not just circles, right? They really vary depending on the... Oh, I'm not sure. It rotates with the world. Yeah, you get me? It morphs with the sphere. But it's basically an expense that you incur when you take a job away from where you currently are. So it's basically relocation costs. So they're including that now. So you can't just jump around. You have to take that into consideration when you are when you're touring. So I'm not sure if we'll actually get charged because we do have the contract here already. It's all Greek to me. And if you look at this map, this is where we ended. This is a viewpoint, but we will start nearby to warm things up. I think this airport is pretty close. Lima Golf Mike Alpha. But yes, everything is still in Greece. We'll see. And let's see what kind of audio tours we get with Bush Talk Radio this time. Lima Golf Mike Alpha, that's the one. Mirini Karditsa Makrichori. No idea what that says, but we'll trust what it gives us. Let's give that to maybe around 8 a.m. This is how it is here in Singapore. Let's maybe do that. Do we want live players? Why not? Yeah, probably won't encounter any, but all players actually. All players, yes. No, good that way. Bring it back. Something like that. Good. Start at the ramp so it starts in cold and dark so I can let you hear the startup sequence. Let's make the fuel full, and yeah, I think it's a bug, but it shouldn't affect the performance of the plane. That negative 40,000% CG. Alright, that looks good. Let's load it up here. You have flown in a Bell in real life. Wow, with your grandfather. Super cool. Oh, that's amazing, man. Let us know if it feels the same or if it sounds the same. We used to call dragonflies helicopters. Yeah, it does look like a dragonfly. A movie and a TV series. Wow, both. Nice. Good morning, Vietnam. Robin Williams. Oh yeah, such a great actor, huh? Cool stuff. There we go. Looks like we have nice weather today. Perfect for flying. The word is flat. Ban that guy. Look at that. Cinematic vibes. Alright. There has been an update with this helicopter. The external view now works because previously the external view was right here and you can't see anything. It's too zoomed in. Now they fixed it properly. It's pretty good. That's Mrs. Clumsy right there. Good. Alright, so how do we start this thing? The startup is pretty basic, I think. If I can remember, turn on the batteries, turn on the beacon. Make sure that the magnetos are set to both. Let's prime the fuel. I'm not really sure if it's implemented. I don't think so though. So let's just ignore that. And make sure the mixture is full. And then we just press the starter button here. I also lowered the audio sound significantly. Of course, the startup sequence is shortened for the comfort of simulators. So we don't have to wait for minutes and minutes on end. But there is the helicopter. We do have an engine governor here, not there in real life, but because we have limited peripherals, limited access. In our peripherals, the RPM will be automatically controlled for us, so we don't need to worry about that at least. Winds are coming from the east, 92 at 6 knots, lurking as you're on ETS2 in Iberia. Enjoy, Chi? No worries. Keep running. Bad weather there. Sound is fine. Let's say Franklin start. Alright, so let's see. So we are here already. I don't think we need to pay any relocation costs because we've gotten the contract already. So what we basically need to do sorry, is to head northwest into that area so we can the Skypark app can detect us and we can continue our trip from there. One moment, I forgot one very critical thing, and if I don't do something, I think the helicopter will shut down soon enough because I forgot to turn on the alternator. That might be a bit tricky. Is there a way to see the amps or something? No, I don't think so. But if we have low voltage, then that will light up. Okay, so nav lights, landing lights, and strobe lights all on. Good. So, disclaimer guys, this helicopter is nothing like the Airbus. Both in terms of technology and I guess in terms of feel as well. I think this is more of hardcore level, no training wheels anymore. Because the Airbus H135, I think it was somehow, how do I say, simplified a bit. Not full on how exactly a helicopter would feel like. Some simplifications, some guidance, you know, some ease put into it. Here, we don't get any of that anymore. And so as a negative impact, I'm not able to fly as well. And that's saying a lot. That's maybe understatement of the year. So just a disclaimer, okay? Don't expect me to do the same maneuvers as before. Yeah. The original engine. Ah, I see. This one now is a different one. It's Lycoming, I think. Is that engine familiar? Is that brand familiar? Lycoming 6-cylinder engine, I think. Yeah, 6 cylinders, I believe. And yes, as Alex pointed out in one of his comments, even the, what do you call this thing? The shaft, the tail rotor is spinning. It's modeled in. And when you change the pitch of the tail rotor by moving the pedals, actually I should have shown that before I started the helicopter, they actually change as well. And when you move the cyclic, the swash plate moves. So that thing. And you can actually see the pitch of the blades changing when the helicopter is stationary. A very popular engine. Ah, tail rotor shaft. Okay, so close enough. Very easy to remember. Alright, so let's see first if we can control the helicopter. Let's apply some cyclic here. Hopefully the overlay is working properly. Yeah, I think so. It should be. Alright. Hopefully the overlay is not getting delayed. Let me know if the overlay doesn't move very well, okay? Because I'm noticing a bit of lag in the OBS stream here, which is pretty disturbing. We'll see, okay. And that ugly detent in the middle is really hurting matters. Alright, so let's try to control it a bit. Minimal inputs. We don't have the ball, the green ball, so there is no way I can tell where we are going unless I look outside. Try to control it. Yeah, hardly able to do so. It's fine. And I've been starting to watch a lot of videos. There's a YouTube channel I am really enjoying. It was recommended to me in one of my videos. It's called Helicopter Lessons in 10 minutes or less. Did we actually just land? I think we just skid there. Helicopter Lessons in 10 minutes or less. And then he basically has a pen and paper, literally. He explains the helicopter concepts. Helps a lot in understanding why the helicopter behaves that way. And hopefully I get to apply those here in flight though, but at the moment I am struggling enough to control the basic movements as it is. 91 at 6 knots. Okay. So let's try and, I don't know if helicopters do this, but back taxi to the end of the runway because the winds are coming from the right, and it's best if we always try and face the wind when we're taking off. It's a good exercise though, trying to control the helicopter. It's trying to stay on the right path here, but yeah, it's super hard. How's the overlay working, guys? Can you notice anything? Is it updating in real time or is it a bit delayed? I also found that hovering low is a bit hard with this helicopter. It either hovers a bit higher than what I would want, or it plops to the ground like what happened a while ago. Like right now. It's so hard to control, my goodness. Nothing like the Airbus at all. Alright, start here in the beginning. I'll catch up with you guys as soon as I get this stabilized. Gyrocopter. What is that? You are pro. Not really. But thanks for the kind words. Overlay looks like it's working fine. Okay, thank you. Alright, let's line up here. Let's see if I can do a semblance of a hover to line myself up in the runway. And then we'll see if I can take off from there. Oh, there's actually someone here. Hey! Cool! Is that an H135? It does look like it. Super pro. Yep. I was distracted. Let's get control of this. Okay. Move to the right. Hold it down. Line up on the runway. Control yourself. Okay, and then let's set it down here for now. Even that alone was enough to get me sweaty. Mixed with a tiny helicopter. Pretty cool, you can actually see the model perfectly in there. I think it's the first time I've seen a helicopter model in multiplayer in real time. Very nice. That hover taxi and stuff. Looks a bit funky though, banking like that. Flying wide body tricopter. I think I can imagine it. Is there such a real thing? Like a gyrocopter? Is that a thing in real life? I think I've only seen it in like fantasy stuff. There we go, right. So let's push forward. And because of transverse flow, is it? I have to put the cyclic a bit to the left. And so that way we maintain center line as we take off, like so. Now I understand it. I always wondered why it seemed like I was moving to the right when I was taking off. And as I was watching that YouTube channel, it explained that exact phenomenon, and it's great that it's implemented here in this sim. In this helicopter, the flight model is very accurate from what I've heard, from what I've seen. And it's great. Alright, looks good. Just try and control it a bit, guys. I'll get back to chat a bit. But let's bank here. Start turning to the northwest. And let's stay low. Staying low is pretty cool, pretty nice, and it gives us the illusion that we are really traveling fast, even if we're only traveling at like 70 miles per hour by default. So northwest is going to be our direction, somewhere along those lines, somewhere along those mountains. I think there should be a valley in there somewhere. Let me see if I can line up. And if anyone wants to join me on the skies here, you are more than welcome to do so. I believe I'm in the Singapore server or Southeast Asia server, something like that. Just catch me whenever. More than happy to have company. Gyrocopters are real. I haven't seen one. I'd imagine that's even more complicated. It's like a big highway here. Very wide highway. It's a bit weird, doesn't it? The satellite imagery here in this area probably is not the best. But even this very basic thing, if you look at the overlay, my stick is not in the center. This is now how it was in the Airbus. In the Airbus, you adjust a bit, and then you make sure you go to the heading that you want, and then it kind of adjusts itself, and then you can leave it back in the center. Here, you really, if you really want to move forward, you have to keep pushing forward. You have to keep the cyclic in there. So you can see in the overlay, a bit like up from the center. So that constant forward pressure on the cyclic. Very interesting. And it kind of makes sense after watching those videos. Because apparently as the faster you move, the more there is the tendency for the helicopter to pitch up like so. So you have to counteract that pitch up by a constant forward cyclic. Very interesting, and it's nice that it's actually modeled in here. The only problem is it gets quite tiring, and yeah, it starts becoming a challenge after a while. And I think default peripherals we have, like the HOTAS, the joysticks, they're not really meant for helicopters. So the one I'm using right now has an axis, has a detent in the middle, right? The throttle that I use for the cyclic has a detent in the middle, so it stops there. And that's the exact spot where the helicopter starts to hover. So it gets very tricky. It's not ideal. Somehow you get used to it after some time, but not ideal at all. Airbus is similar, not in the center, not in when I was flying it, not like this at least. It kind of moved forward on its own. If you wanted to go really fast, then you keep it there. And then you also have some trims that you can set to alleviate it, but yeah, not this much. So I would say in terms of the flight model, this definitely has a more advanced feel, given my very basic knowledge about helicopters. But then again, the H135, they say there will be an expert flight model coming soon. So with the Airbus helicopter, we've only been flying with advanced so far. So it's basic, advanced, and there will be an expert mode coming. Maybe with that, it will simulate more closely these elements that we are missing in there at the moment. Maybe. We'll get more details about that soon, I guess. My goodness, the highways are really super wide. Are the Greek highways this clean? Looks a bit weird, doesn't it? Landed in the US capital a few years ago. Oh, I see. Yeah, looking forward to it. 5-degree pitch to move. Yeah, but I definitely don't remember having to keep this forward pressure constantly. Like at some point it starts to move on its own. Or maybe that's the time when I turn on the autopilot. In this plane, there is absolutely no autopilot. Oh, let's make sure that we are altitude reporting on our transponder here. Get a bit more role-playing action. Let's see where we are. Yeah, still a few ways to go. But yeah, this is just as I fly offline, as I try to get used to how a helicopter feels. It's just fun flying over roads like this and just trying to stalk certain cars. As I mentioned in a previous video, I really like it because it feels like one of those chase scenes that you see in the US. You know, when there's a runaway car in the interstate, and then you have the police trying to catch up to him, and you have a helicopter hovering on above. It feels like this, and you get that really different perspective how easy it is to keep track of someone as long as it's an open field, right? Like, how can you miss that person if you have this vantage point? It's very interesting. Couldn't be clearer. And with this kind of canopy, beautiful. You can almost see right below your feet there. Very, very low, what do you say, blind spots. Very little blind spots. Yeah, with the Airbus even, I don't even have to apply any pedals anymore after I start moving. Maybe that's where the... What term was that, Alex, if you remember? Was it tail rotor compensation? Is that where it's coming from? Because here I have to keep left pedal all throughout. With the Airbus, the faster I go, as soon as I get away from that hover, that ground effect, I start, as soon as I start picking up airspeed, you know, I can fully let go of the left pedal. And it becomes more hands-free, foot-free for that matter. This one is a different beast altogether. You really need to hand-hold it the entire way. Should only really correct for changes in collective movement. Maybe that's something different then. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the way the helicopter was built. Maybe it's because the Airbus can go faster, and the faster you go, the less tail rotor you have to apply. The less the tail rotor has to work. Maybe that's why. Maybe because this helicopter is slower. So even if it's at its fastest, you still need to apply some left pedal in there. Yeah, I've been really enjoying flying this one. Even if it's slow, I just go low and slow, as low and slow as you can get, and it's just chill. So if I have an extra 30 minutes, if I have an extra hour, I just work on flying however I can. Work on those tours. I'm doing the UK tour offline most of the time. Just exploring northern Scotland and flying, trying to control the helicopter, catching up some hours. It's been a very educational experience so far. Oh, and yes, one more thing. If I try to pitch down here, get some airspeed, you'll see as we gather some airspeed. Let me turn off track IR. If you look at the compass, everything actually, things start shaking violently right before you enter that I'm not sure what you call it, retreating blade stall or something like that. But yeah, right before you exceed the velocity, the speed that you should never exceed. So you do have those modeled in as well. And it's properly put in based on what I've heard, what I've watched, because they say right before you reach that, as you get closer to that VNE, that never exceed speed, you should start getting some vibrations, and that's exactly what we're seeing here in this cockpit. So it's a clear sign when you're trying to descend and you don't let go of if you don't lower the cyclic, then you start picking up airspeed as you pitch down, and things can get violent very quickly. It's quite interesting. That highway is bugged. Tell me about it. Yeah, it looks like a bumper car thing here below. Cars intersecting each other. You can't even see the highway clearly. In most of the other satellite images, the highways are more pronounced. You can actually distinguish each lane. But here, it's just everything is white. It's weird. Wonder why. Doesn't help much when you're this slow. So you can see all the details. Yeah, maybe Tom, maybe that's the one. Maybe during the time when these images were taken, the roads were still being built. And now, the roads just suddenly cut off. Yikes. Now the problem here is if I need to adjust the lights, I cannot reach them. Something like that. Oh, how can I reach that one in front? 1 second. I can't reach it. I have to use my left hand. Oh no. There we go. Yeah, if you let go of the cyclic, even just for 1 second, my goodness, chaos ensues. So you really have to be literally hands-on the entire time. No such thing as trimming. No hands-free moment at all, which makes it so exciting. And even if you're just flying straight and level, it's such a challenge already. But that's what's so fun about it. Hey, Dwarfy. How are you doing, man? Yeah. Clumsy Copter indeed. Let's go and look at it from this view. It's very nice. It's so hard to maintain it. You can see we're bobbing up and down already. So hard to keep control if I'm not looking here every second, trying to adjust these micro adjustments in the cyclic. But yeah, it's very immersive, and there is no such thing as cruise. Because every bit of every part of the travel of the flight is something where you have to be fully involved. The canopy is incredible. Yeah. Best for sightseeing, right? Doing good, Dwarfy, doing great. Really getting into helicopters recently. I've discovered the excitement of helicopters. Actually, it was very timely. So last night, Mrs. Clumsy, because Mrs. Clumsy saw me watching those videos with a pen and paper, helicopter lessons in 10 minutes or less. So afterwards, she was asking me, so did you learn anything? And I just got so excited, I started explaining to her the concepts. Like basic stuff like airfoils, how lift is created, how helicopters work in a basic sense. And I discovered, and she discovered, she said that my eyes were like glowing. I was so filled with excitement as I was explaining things. Yeah, and that's exactly true. Just loving every bit of new knowledge that I'm trying to get, and hopefully I get to apply them eventually here. No promises though, but yeah, the concepts are very interesting. Really perfectly science at work. And she fell asleep. Not quite. I think I was able to explain the basic concepts and she understood them. But when I started getting into the more advanced stuff like gyroscopic precession, she said, no, that's too much. That's too much for me. But yeah, the basic stuff she was able to get. But yeah, even these simple things like trying to keep it straight and level, if I don't apply the proper cyclic angle, then it can easily be resort to that pendulum swinging. If I overcorrect, like this, then you start getting that pendulum swinging action. even if you can barely see any movement in the cyclic at all. So it's that sensitive. I wonder if this is, I guess this is really how cyclics work in real life, right? They're super sensitive based on all the videos I've seen so far. Like the common thing that they recommend is to, so you hold the cyclic with your right hand. What they recommend is you actually let your elbow, your right elbow, lean on your thigh, and it's only literally your hand or your fingers even that are moving. So it's not, your elbow is not lifted. Any kind of force is not coming from your shoulder. You cut it off. Not literally, but the force only has to come from the fingers or the hand at most. Because if you include the elbow or the shoulder in there, it will be too much. It will be too much pressure and you'll end up with that kind of overcompensation. It really has to be as sensitive as possible, as minimal as possible. So for me, I have my elbow right on the armrest and I have to angle myself. So that's the starting point. When I adjust my seat, that's the starting point, and everything else works around that. The camera, the pedals, the rest of my seat. So everything is centered on that aspect, because I cannot fly if I have my elbow up at all. It's just going to be very crazy movements. Very interesting. Stirred up just by looking at that. Igor Sikorsky. Who is that? Sounds familiar, the Sikorsky thing. The reflections are pretty amazing. Hey Dico. Thanks for joining, man. Sorry for the late welcome. Yeah, it's amazing how everything is just combining together, right? Even the shadows from the helicopter, the shadows from the rotor, and of course you have those beautiful clouds ahead of you. Are we still headed the right direction? Yes, we are. Oh, there we go. Can resume it now. Nice. Okay, let's plan the flight. I do want to go through there because we went through there before, yeah, the Meteora Valley. So let's go and visit that again. Let's follow this highway straight through. And then once we get there, then we can go to the next airport in Kozani, if I remember correctly. Something like that. Sikorsky helicopters. May the 4th. Oh yeah, true. Although it's the 5th year now. May the 4th be with you. Just make sure you don't get carpal tunnel. Yeah. Well, thankfully the wrist itself is not resting. The wrist is floating. It's just the elbow that is resting. So hopefully that would not lead to that situation. Father of the modern helicopter. Ah, that's why his name sounds so familiar. I see. The only helicopter brand you know. What's the most famous Sikorsky helicopter? Because the normal ones that I see in YouTube are, well, the Robinsons I think are the most common I see. The, what is that, R22, R44? And then the Bell models here. The Airbus. But the others I'm not very familiar with. The Huey is a Bell helicopter, right? I think it's a Bell UH-1. Ah, so they focus on military stuff. No wonder, yeah. I haven't really looked at military helicopters. Do they have anything for civil aviation? Maybe that's why they sound so familiar. Man, this looks great, doesn't it? The perfect mix of urban highways, beautiful mountainscapes, beautiful clouds. Oh my goodness. Ooh, nice. Thanks for flying. Not sure how to call him. We'll call him US. Thanks for flying with me. He must really need to slow down to keep up with my speed. Huey is Bellew H1. Ah, Lockheed, like Lockheed Martin. Let's see. Yeah, I think I've heard of that before, Sikorsky. More stuff to read up on. Yeah, I constantly have to re-watch the videos to always get an understanding of the symmetry of lift, gyroscopic precision, transverse flow, what is ETL? Effective translational lift. There are so much more concepts for helicopters. Is it true that learning to fly a helicopter takes twice as long? I mean, the course as learning to fly a fixed-wing plane? I wouldn't be surprised if it was the case, because of those amazingly interesting concepts. At least here now we have proper roads. Yeah, these roads I can see the signs on. Can even see the direction of each lane. That's cool, even though the cars are still bugged, but that's as close as we can get. As a flight simulator, having something moving below is good enough for me.
The Meteora is a rock formation in central Greece hosting one of the largest and most precipitously built complexes of Eastern Orthodox monasteries, second in importance only to Mount Athos. The 6 monasteries are built on immense natural pillars and hill-like rounded boulders that dominate the local area.
Not
it is
yet,
located near the
but
town
soon.
of Kalabaka at the northwestern edge of the plain of Thessaly near the Pineios River and Pindus Mountains. Meteora is included on the UNESCO World Heritage List under criteria 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7. The name means lofty, elevated, and is etymologically related to meteor.
Very nice. Trying to see if I can take a photo of us too. Oh crap. That's hard. So I remember, I think we tried to in the last week's stream, I think we tried to park there where my mouse is. One of those mountains or hills. Hey Muraz, long time no see. 12 hours today. Oh, that's great to hear, man. Yes, absolutely loving it. Doesn't mean I'm any good at it, but I'm still loving it. Fumbling around and trying to learn it as much as I can. Realistic mode, no governor. For me, I have the governor. What do you use for the throttle? Do you have an extra axis in hand? That's cool. Left axis for collective and the right one for throttle. Ah, so you mean like the twist stick? Oh, maybe I should look at that. No, I should maybe learn first how to fly it properly, and then I add that complexity of the engine RPM, the throttle RPM rather. The hottest throttle. Ah, okay. So you have 2 throttles in the X55. That's nice. Yeah, that will help. Yeah, this actually makes me want to buy a new HOTAS. So I really hate this one I have for helicopters. This is not the best. The Thrustmaster HOTAS 4 is an okay HOTAS for starting out, but not good for helicopters at all, especially with this detent at the middle of the throttle, as I was mentioning to the guys. So right when your helicopter gets enough manifold pressure to start hovering, you hit that detent. It just throws everything off. What kind of streamer are you? The cheapskate kind. Haven't met one of those? Oh, welcome. That's my breed. Yeah, my philosophy is I'll replace it when it gets broken and not before that. And unfortunately, these things are very durable, so I haven't had an excuse to buy a new one. My conscience will not let me just replace it. Are we headed the right way here? Northeast? Kind of. Yeah, works. It's nice though, sticking closer to the trees here. Yeah, exactly. These things are built to last. Even this Otas 4 is pretty good. And it's all plastic. It's, I think, one of the most basic models they have. Starter models. But still doing great. Put in the clothes washing. Whoops. Now I have to buy a new one. But yeah, thinking about HOTAS or any peripheral that's perfect for helicopters, what would you guys recommend? And how much would it be? If for some reason my HOTAS suddenly broke down for one reason or another, what would you guys get? Plastic if it's good quality. Yeah, I think the thing is, normally when people say plastic, they refer to plastic not in a good way, because the plastic feel is very obvious. So normally when people say plastic, it's that kind of plastic. I think it's more rare to have the plastic that still feels premium. But if it is, then people will not really refer to it just as plastic. X56 is a bit expensive. Higher quality. Well, I guess it really depends on the implementation. But yes, I think most of the time plastic is cheap. And it feels cheap, but in some cases, if it's done well, I guess the balance needs to be there, right? But if it's done well, then it can actually work. Oh crap, that's a bit higher than I anticipated. We have enough headroom in here. Hopefully, if we can just avoid that tree. There you go. Cheap to produce. Yeah. Not all plastic stuff feel cheap, but most of them do. X56, huh? And that one doesn't have a detent? Yeah, this detent was built for space simulators, like Elite Dangerous. It's perfect for that one. When you can go forward and backward using the throttle, that's perfect. Actually, I'm not sure, LL. I haven't tried climbing too high. I just basically stick to the ground as much as I can. 9,000 no issue, max is 15. Oh, interesting. I guess you would need an oxygen tank in real life if that were the case, huh? X52 for years and it's still in great shape. So those things, those are all, I guess those are Logitech now, Cytec before. Yes, this is the non-turbo one. I think the Airbus should be able to go higher, shouldn't it? There's a turbine, it has 2 turbine engines. Although yeah, I'm not sure how helicopters work in that regard. Maybe there is a limitation being a helicopter. Hey, thanks for following. Welcome to the channel. Feel free to join us in chat. There you go. Need oxygen past 30 minutes. Thank goodness we are in a simulator. No need to worry about that stuff. Is there a pressurized helicopter? I have my doubts. Even the Airbus I doubt is pressurized. Oh, this looks so great. Yeah, just traveling like this for hours on end and occasionally getting that audio tour from Bush Talk Radio, that's perfect. How are we doing on fuel? Still 3/4. Okay, good. Good. So yeah, for level flights like this, for parts of the flight where you have decent airspeed, just basically going straight, adjusting to the altitude, this one I can handle for the most part. But things start really getting hairy when I start slowing down, trying to approach, trying to land, trying to hover. So difficult. The article I read about initial feedback on this helicopter, what is his name? I shared it in Discord. Is it Heli Simmer? I think he's a very experienced helicopter simmer, as the name implies. But yeah, he attributed the flight model of this particular helicopter. He says it's DCS or X-plane level. And I think that's saying a lot, because usually for Microsoft Flight Simulator planes, as great as some of them are, the flight model is not the best still. There are some aspects which are still lacking, right? Like wind behavior with winds, you know, the rudder when taking off, when landing, those kinds of behaviors. So I would say in terms of flight model, the Microsoft Flight Simulator model is not yet out there. It's still a bit in progress. But being attributed to have the same level of flight model with DCS and X-plane as a helicopter, see, that's saying a lot. But yeah, one tip that they gave is, if you're not familiar with the helicopter yet, don't try to hover it. Just go forward and pick up speed, because that's the easier part. And then get accustomed to it, and eventually then maybe you can hover. 1350 kg, very light. Go down to 20 manifold pressure. That one I can do. Yeah, that's around half throttle for me, I think. Half collective. Take off about 27, cruise about 24. Did you notice the new update? Yeah, I just happened to be reading the Microsoft Flight Sim forums and saw the developer posted that there was an update for this helicopter. They changed the yellow and red line for the manifold pressure. And yes, the camera definitely makes it a lot more scenic. Very nice. I hope I have enough for this. Yeah, shouldn't be too high. Take off about 27, cruise around 24. Sounds good. Yeah, the flight model is completely custom. They override the Microsoft one, which is actually, I'm not sure if that's an issue, because I've heard the developer commented on one of my videos. They said they've been trying to work with Microsoft literally for months to get this added to the InSim marketplace, but they have not been getting a response. So I'm not sure if they are, I don't know, violating some rules, some agreements between third party. That's why Microsoft could not approve it. Not sure if they're allowed to have their own flight model in there. So right now you can only buy it from their website. I really hope that's not the case though. I mean, I don't really care if it's Microsoft's flight model or FlyInside's flight model, as long as it's the real thing. I don't mind who makes it. And so in the end, that's a win for the consumer. I'm good with that. Hey Dolphin, welcome back, man. How are you? Yeah, FlyInside has their own VR simulator, VR flight simulator, and they use the flight model they have for that, put it here. Very interesting stuff. Love it so much you could not sleep. 2.5 hours of sleep. Oh my goodness, I was just telling the guys, I was so into helicopters recently as well. Started watching a lot of tutorial videos about helicopter concepts and whatnot, because it's only now that I'm getting exposed to them. And it's an amazing ride. Some Russian military helicopters with pressurized crew cabins. Ah, I see. Interesting. Fun but not for 12 hours. Yeah, your hands must be pretty experienced by now, huh? Your right hand especially. Oh, I didn't see that. Thanks, Dolphin. Hey, GG. That didn't get an audio notification. Thanks for converting into a tier 1 sub. Now it should be recurring and it shouldn't bother you anymore. Appreciate that, man. GG. You can shut it down once you have the options set. Yeah, I don't really mind the app. Some people don't like the app. I don't mind that it's running in the background as long as it's not bothering me. It's not on top, it's keeping there in the background. I don't mind. But yeah, for some people I understand those are deal breakers. For me personally, not really. So that's why I didn't hesitate at all to buy it from the website and use the external app. Yes, doing great, Dolphin. Having a great time with helicopters, nerding out, geeking out about helicopters. It's amazing learning about all these concepts. You've been talking to the devs a lot. Nice. 20,000 hours of experience. That's so nice. Where do you talk to them? Is it in their forums? I think they have their own website and forums, right? Although I haven't really registered there yet. Okay, let's try to get a steady climb here because that mountain looks a bit steep. Let's see where we should be going. Yeah, we could go there, or we could actually, I think better, let's go around through here. There seems to be a valley in here so where we don't need to climb that high. There's our shadow right there. 3 a.m. Goodness. Already 1 hour. Time flies, right? Have a good one, LL. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see how the expert mode of the Airbus will take shape. Oh, speaking of that, Merwaz, I would like to telepathy. Oh, they have a Discord? Oh, I should join that. Yeah. Have you tried the Airbus H135, Merwaz? What is your opinion on it? So, you seem like you are a helicopter veteran. For me, I only got into helicopters because of the Airbus H135. So this Bell 47 is my second helicopter in any simulator. So very new at this. I'm loving every bit of it. Oh, that's so great. Those trees look so good. Just taking as many photos as I can with the limited time that I can spend outside. Imagine this is a great thing in VR. Just got rudder pedals and it's getting there decent. Yeah, that is my impression as well. Like, I was really happy with the Airbus H135 and how it feels as my first helicopter. But after flying this one, it feels so different now. But maybe the expert mode that's coming for the Airbus, the H135, will level the playing field again. We'll see. Rotor Sim Pilot is someone I follow recently in YouTube. He's a real helicopter pilot, I believe, and he has a lot of experience with helicopters. And he makes videos with Microsoft Flight Sim featuring Airbus H135, Bell 47, and different things. And he has nice insights. And I think he's working directly with High Performance Group, the makers of the H135 in the sim. And he's testing the expert mode for them. He released a video on it recently, I think just yesterday. I skimmed through the video, although I haven't really gotten, maybe because I just skimmed through it, I haven't gotten the how different it is versus advanced. I didn't pick that up yet. Maybe you'll only be able to tell once you really fly it. Sounds like a Huey, yeah, I know, right? Oh, and yes, when you do a steep turn, you really hear it. Hear that rotor slicing the wind. Let's try it. How steep can it be? Might be tricky. Not really, but you can search YouTube, Rotor Sim Pilot. 3 words, Rotor Sim Pilot. And his channel should be the one that would appear. And if you want to learn more about helicopters, I cannot recommend enough this channel that I keep mentioning. Helicopter Lessons in 10 minutes or less. Yes, that's the name of the channel. So many different illustrations. He teaches by pen and paper. And it's great for beginners like me who know nothing about how to fly helicopters and how they work. Never go past 100. I almost did. The cabin and everything started shaking. Yeah, and I had to pull up. Oh, look at the reflection of water in there. And everything else just looks so great. That looks so good, my goodness. Do a barrel roll of death. And now I understand why that happens, right? Because what do you call it? This left side, because it's a counterclockwise spin. This receding side of the blade is the one that stalls. So the left side loses the lift. The right side still has lift, so the tendency is to bank to the left. And so it will do barrel rolls. Very nice. That's perfectly explained in that channel. And why it happens. And that river looks super cool. Hey Shalomar. Thanks for joining. That's great info. Updated Bell 47 with a turbine engine. Wow. Have they released any photos or videos about it? Would be interesting, huh? I hope they keep the same overall look. Especially this canopy. That's so perfect for sightseeing, my goodness. Best visibility ever. Oh, one sec. Try it. Get a handle on this again. Scotty Company got the rights for the Bell many years ago. For the Bell 47. It's great to see that it's still continuing. Because they stopped production for this already, right? I think, when was the last one? Produced 1960s? It's great that they're continuing with this one. Although, I'm not sure with this current design, well, this design in particular, everything is exposed. I'm assuming this cannot handle rain. What happens when it rains? Will the engine just shut down, or is it capable of getting wet? What do you guys think? That seems very fragile with everything exposed like that. But then again, I know nothing about engines and their limitations. So maybe it will work. Let's see. Not quite there yet. Halfway through. Oh crap, that's pretty steep. There you go, keep it steady. There are some winds coming from somewhere, but I can't quite pinpoint where it's at. It can fly in rain, but probably not severe turbulence. Oh, okay. So the rain doesn't really, like, because I'm expecting the engine to be super fragile, like you sprinkle some water on it and it will just die. Is that not how it works? I think of engines as super fragile things that you really have to shelter and keep away from the elements. Man, this is so nice. Finally being able to fly as low as this in a controlled manner, not just for maneuvers, but really being the norm of the flight. Being able to maximize what Microsoft Flight Sim can offer. The scenery. So we get the super realistic flight model of this helicopter combined with the beautiful scenery that Microsoft Flight Sim can offer. Amazing stuff. See the cockpit starting to shake as we get close to 100 miles per hour. It's shaking, it's shaking. Very good. That compass is so useful. Wouldn't know where we are otherwise. Because there is no map, there is no GPS system whatsoever. At least we have radios, right? What is that? Fuel is not too bad, huh? I thought it would run out super quickly, but right now we're still 3/4 of the way. I filled it to the brim, and right now we still have 3/4 on the tank here. This looks interesting. Like a valley that was flooded over. That's how it looks. Let's try one of those sharp turns to see if we can hear the blades louder. Maybe not in this environment, huh? Maybe once we get to a more level area. Here we don't have a lot of altitude to spare. Look, there's a house there. Must be quite nice, must be quite peaceful. Living in that area, super isolated. Man, those sounds. Yeah, those sounds are just playing in my head. Even hours after I close the sim, I can still imagine those sounds playing. So good. Hey Richard. Yes, doing good, thank you. How are you? Glad you could join. Sound like outside the heli. That's a good question. Not so sure. Not so sure, to be honest. This is a nice plateau here. Didn't expect the surface this flat above the mountains, above the hills. Okay, I think we're cresting this soon after. Should be able to try out those sharp turns just to hear what they sound like. It's like a game. What do you mean? Is that a good thing? I think if you say that in a simulator environment, it's not such good praise. But you might mean it differently. That is beautiful. Yeah, sightseeing is a very good motivator for learning how to fly. When I get somewhere, I'll have to work for it. Is that a dam, supposedly? I think it's supposedly a dam, but right now it's just like paint on the floor. Paint on the ground. Let me show you, if I can. That guy. That looks like a dam, right? It was flattened out. Maybe eventually Black Shark will be able to create dams procedurally. Black Shark AIs. Don't fly airliners. Yeah, no, sorry, I meant the Airbus H135. The helicopter Airbus. Yeah, but not the Airbus A320 itself. Yeah, I do have my moments. I try to switch every now and then. But right now, this is really just blowing me away. The fun that this gives. The moment I sat on a helicopter cockpit and tried it out, it was love at first sit. That's so good. This is so much more immersive. I don't know. So much more involved. And even though I start to miss the procedures, working with air traffic control and all that funky stuff, this just feels so much more immersive to me. At least at the moment. We'll see if I change my mind later on. Yeah, straight ahead should be the airport. Do we have any bush talk radio stuff happening? Where are we? 1 second, huh? We do have something. Lake. Ooh, there should be a bridge. Okay, let's go and check it out. So there's the lake here. There should be a bridge somewhere ahead of us, I think. Oh, this one actually. That is a landmark bridge, but I don't think it's implemented here in the sim. But anyway, we can try. Oh, we can do a sharp turn. We can try. There's the blade. Yeah, the blade sounds really become significant. The sharper you turn. Right. Oh yeah, that was a reply to that. Cruising at 70 miles, 2 hours. Nice. Okay, let's see if I can hover around the area. See if we can check this out. Right, let's lower the manifold pressure to 20 inches. See if we can start descending. The tour hasn't played yet. This might not be the bridge I'm looking for. Yeah, this is not the one. Fake. Okay, 1 sec. Stay close to the water here. And the water is a good indication of the wind. You can see how clear it is here. They have a term for this, right? I think glass something. I think I watched a video on that before. landing seaplanes and stuff, they have terms for this. Yeah, that just looks so clear. Let's see if we can get close. More exciting waves. According to the expert. Thanks, that's great. What's Balaton, Richard? Let's try to go a bit lower. So this river or this lake is actually pretty high up. Like 1,000 feet up. Interesting. Starting to see mini waves there. Oh, beautiful reflection of the sun on that side. Where is that? The bridge should be somewhere still far. Let's see. Also start hearing the air whooshing. As you pick up speed and get to that dangerous level. There we go, I can see with the waves. Don't get too close though. There it is. Man, that's a view. That is one heck of a view. And even if my right hand needs to concentrate to make sure we don't plop down to the water, so I do have crashes enabled. Still looks amazing from this view. First few hours you could not climb to save your life in this thing. 55 to 65 for climbing. That's great. I don't even look at the speed so much anymore. I don't even know the perfect speed for climb, so thanks for letting me know. I'll try to target that next time when I need to climb as fast as I can. Try to balance it out. I am kind of swinging left and right here. There you go, that's the spot. Find the sweet spot and stay there. So sorry, going back a bit to that topic of HOTAS. So the Cytec ones, X52, X55, X56, those don't have any detents in their throttles. I don't think I want detents anymore. Oh, there's the bridge. I see a bridge up ahead.
The Lake Piliphatos Bridge Nereida, or the Servia Nereida High Bridge, is one of the longest bridges in Greece, with a length of 1,372 meters. Construction began in 1972 along with the artificial lake and was completed in 1975. Designed by Riccardo Morandi, was constructed from a joint venture ZECT SA Scopanius SA. The bridge is a part of the GR3/E65 and is located 15 kilometers southeast of the city of Kozani and 5 kilometers northwest of Servia. It is one of the two bridges of the lake. The other is the to the southwest near A&E and is smaller, with 615 meters length.
That's the one we saw a while ago. Yeah, this is the bigger one. Some of the roller axis has them. I see. Okay, I'll have a look at that. If my HOTAS breaks, I'll have an idea what to replace it with. Thanks.
Bye, have a great time.
Bye, Richard, if you're going. Yeah, too bad the bridge isn't... I mean, who knows? Maybe this is how it looks like in real life. But it's nice that there is a bridge in the first place. Even if it is just procedurally generated or something. Let's see if we can slow down here and enjoy a bit of the scenery. That's the dissymmetry of lift slowing us down, isn't it? Pitching up. Very nice looking bridge. Where is it? There it is. One of the roller at the thumb grip for the mixture. Always max because of safety. Ah, I see. That makes sense. Normally, even in a fixed wing plane, you would keep the mixture full for low altitudes anyway, where most of the time you'll be staying in this helicopter, I imagine. Maybe that makes a lot of sense, huh? Where's the bridge? I think I'm right above it. Now, I don't want to descend fast when I have this such low of an airspeed, because I think that's a recipe for disaster. Because I think it is implemented in this helicopter, right? The vortex ring state, settling with power. We'll get drowned in our own vortices. We'll get drowned in our own downwash, or however you call it, if you descend too fast when you don't have airspeed. So I have to be very careful. It is implemented, killed you many times. Should we try it for science? Let's see. How do you get out of it? I think you apply right cyclic and right pedal, if I remember correctly. Okay, let's try it. So if I start to descend, I think it happens more than 300 feet per minute. Something like that. No, we haven't gotten into it yet. No, it's hard to enter, huh? Because the normal tendency is when you raise your collective, when you get into that, instead of slowing the descent, it goes even faster once you're in it, so it gets very dangerous. This bridge is looking super nice, even if in its simplicity. The simple curved nature of it, I like very much. We had various so many times on landings. Ah, yeah. Can be tricky. Just fell out of the sky and crashed. One video I watched was very insightful. There's like a basic rule of thumb. Don't go below 30 knots until you get to 300 feet above ground, something like that. So basically, don't lose airspeed until you don't until you're low enough to prevent any kind of mishaps, whether that's vortex ring state, whether that's loss of tail rotor effectiveness, LTE. I think most of those dangerous things happen when you are stationary, when you don't have airspeed. So if you maintain your airspeed until the last moment, you get to be in a safer environment overall. Okay, let's get back here. It's very nice that's implemented here though. So northwest, so we want to go. Should be Kozani right here. Yeah, That huge stutter is a clear indication that an airport is nearby. Because with the current version of the sim itself, there is that bug. I would call it a bug. I would not call it a feature at all, where huge stutters happen when an airport loads in for some reason whatsoever. They probably have coded that wrong. That the sim waits for the loading to happen. Yeah, it happens to everyone exactly, which is very bad, right? Because normally as you approach an airport, that's the time when you go to manual, for example, even the big airliners. That's when you switch to manual, turn off the autopilot and hand fly it. And during that exact time when you need the most control, you get that stutter. So it can easily become a recipe for disaster. Okay, I think that's the airport right in front of us. Not really. Guys, see it? Kusalin. What is hand flying? Yeah, basically hitting autopilot 500 feet, sometimes even less, after taking off. But then again, with the amount of workload needed, they definitely need all the help they can get. Okay, still a bit far. The higher you go, the more maximum speed before the blade stall reduces. Oh, is it? That's interesting. Because there's less air. Yeah, because it's the retreating blade that stalls. And the more airspeed there is, the more it's likely to stall. Maybe. That could make sense. I'll have to read up on that. Any indication on the... Okay, that's the runway. Around the 330, I guess. Something like that angle. Keep your eyes peeled, guys. They're on their Discord. Oh, nice. Thank you for dropping by the stream then. Need all the inputs I can get. Go to that guy if you need help flying. Awesome. Thank you. Will do. I'll join your Discord, the Discord of the FlyInside guys afterwards. Don't post the link here though. The Nightbot might censor you. But can you let me know how I can find the link? I guess that's in the website somewhere. I'm sure I'll find a lot of insights there. Okay, should be straight. Oh, that's the one. Yeah, that's a huge airport. Winds are coming from, well, basically non-existent, 35 at 2 knots. Shouldn't be a factor. If I can take your eyes away for a second, then you're going all over the place. My goodness. It requires full concentration all throughout. Pedal. There's the runway. Let's just try to line ourselves up on it and then slow down when we get to the ramp. One thing I'm having a hard time with is slowing down, because normally when I try to pull back on the cyclic, I pull back on a different angle. So in addition to slowing down, also my angle changes, my heading changes. It's quite challenging. Okay, so here we can actually top up with fuel once we get there. And as we lose airspeed, we lose that ETL. So that means we need more power. So I'll need to pull up on the cyclic again and apply left pedal to counteract that loss in power, basically, right now. Right, there's the ramp, there's the gate. Can't find the fuel station though. I think I'll just park somewhere nearby and see. That looks okay. Let's slow down here. Start descending maybe. Now don't expect me to land anywhere with precision, guys. Just landing in one piece I think I'm happy with already. 1 second, guys, I'll be with you in a bit. Let me try and see if I can park here. Let's face into the wind. Oh, there's the fuel station. Okay, maybe we can park there. Who knows? Oh crap. Yeah, that's a bit tricky. Losing power. There you go. Yeah. Okay. I'm happy enough with this one here. And of course it detects that we are done with it already. That's 1 hour and 22 minutes of hand flying. I need to rest my hand. 1 second. Turn off that one. Enjoy the view for a bit. Heli manager settings down. I see. I just set mine to realistic and I try to learn how to handle it instead of tweaking the settings till I get used to it. Time for some vodka. Yes, we still have plenty of fuel, but I just don't want to worry about it. I think we still have, yeah, half. Right. Yeah. Because it's induced at very low speeds and very high rate of descents, more than 300 feet per minute, I think, is the one of the things. Let's see if I can get closer to that and control the helicopter. No promises, but we'll try. Oh, that's too much. No, 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 no. 1 sec. Reset. Whew. Okay, one more time. Try to do that again. Just want a stable hover. Is that too much to ask for? With this helicopter, I think it is. Closer? No. Okay, reset. This detent is not helping much, but I can't make it an excuse. I have to get accustomed to what I have. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's very hard. Like hovering like this is easier, but applying really small adjustments is super hard. My goodness, we're all over the place. Reset. Let me try maybe circle around, get a bit more momentum in. Hot dog from the airport. Sure thing. I'll pick you up in a bit. Enjoy. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's a bit more controlled. Sure, that's a bit more controlled. There you go. It's a bit more successful. Let's do a right turn here, bit by bit. Very minute adjustments in the cyclic. Let's face the right way. Let's control ourselves again. Okay. Get stable, get stable. Oh my goodness, this is so hard. Plop it down. It's so scary, but at least we got close enough. Oh my goodness. This is such a challenge. Like a lady. Easier said than done. Hide and seek. I think the sound would give it away. Alright, there we go. Alright. Off we go to the next one. Face the wind. And left forward cyclic. Compensate for the transverse flow. And go up. Like so. There you go. Maybe just a bit, just a tad. Yeah, that hover, I'm not sure what the trick is. I think I just really need to spend hours and hours on it. It is so tricky, my goodness. Bit more collective. Yeah, sometimes I need more, but sometimes I need to lessen it because it kind of hovers too high. Then I need to tweak that as well. Even that is not fixed. It's so interesting. Just need to be brave. Yeah, hovers in. That's what we need. That's what I need to find. It's so challenging, my goodness. Where to next? Oh, that's pretty far away. White Tower of Thessaloniki. Oh, we're going to Thessaloniki. Nice. That seems like a familiar place. We've definitely been there in Pro Mods, I believe. Let's find a flat surface, maybe an airport on the way. And then we'll do and practice a bit of hovering again. See if we can get that. Probably won't get that nailed down, but at least learn a bit from it. Yeah, that's my problem. When I give it too much hover, too much collective, it doesn't just hover, it starts to climb. And then when I lessen it, it goes down. So I kind of have to not only put it in a certain setting, but I also have to tweak it higher and lower all throughout the hover instance. I don't quite get that yet. Most streamers won't ever touch this thing. Yeah, it's unfortunate. A lot of people don't seem interested. I really hate that. Even like if I go to the forums, that's a very nice sign how interested people are. And there is not much discussion about it in the forums, in the Microsoft Flight Sim forums. It's like, why not? It's the most amazing thing. Yeah, I guess helicopters just aren't really that famous. I don't know. Maybe not against airliners, at least. Need even more minute inputs. Yeah, I think that's true. That's true. And the detent is not helping at all. That's exactly where it's at. Right after you get beyond the detent is when the helicopter starts to climb up. And if you need to balance that out, then you will always be in the detent and going up and down near that detent. It's irritating. I guess I either have to get used to it or I have to bite the bullet and buy a new one. But I'll just take it as a challenge. I'll have to get used to it first. When I get used to it, then I earn the right to buy a new one. Maybe. We'll see. A steady hover will happen with constant minute control movements, even with the collective. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because that seems to be the way. Yeah, when I put the cyclic only on one setting, the collective only at one setting, it either climbs up too high or goes lower. So it kind of makes sense that I have to adjust it constantly as well, together with the cyclic. Hey, Captain. Yes, it's nice. Brilliant person whoever did that. It's amazing. I think it was meant originally for Elite Dangerous. But thankfully, it works perfectly in this sim as well. It's perfect for helicopters. Yes, rave about it. Share your fever for it. I try to do that using my videos, but unfortunately the flight sim videos I have don't get a lot of traction. Oh crap, might be a bit too low for this. There you go. Also, something feels weird. One second, let me just adjust my... It's either the wind or... No, I didn't have enough pedal in. So the angle of the flight was very weird. Needed to set a dead zone past it. Well, there is also a dead zone in there by default, because I thought about removing the detent by opening the joystick, opening it up. I saw some people do it. It is possible, but you actually cannot get rid of the... you can't get rid of the dead zone. I think the dead zone is there by default. So thankfully there is a dead zone, but still it catches you off guard when you need those minute movements, and then it snaps to the detent. It doesn't help. See if we can go closer here. You always do adjustments, makes sense. Tried hiding behind some trees from your new friend. You hovering in place for 3 to 5 minutes. Wow, so pro. Yeah, with the Airbus H135, hovering is a lot easier. But here is a totally different ball game. Maybe in expert mode, that will become different too. Yeah, I saw some articles about that, some posts in Reddit, in some forums. They managed to remove the detent. But the dead zone, I think, is a hard thing to remove. So you won't have the detent, but it'll still have a huge dead zone in the middle. And it might be a different kind of irritation. So I had second thoughts about it. That and me and DIY stuff, we don't really mix well. Sure thing, Moraz. Not sure where we're headed. Thessaloniki, but okay, looks like we are going past some nice mountainous areas as well. Bit of water. Let me see. Bush talk radio. Any sights on the way? There is an airport. 1 second, bear with the shaking a bit, because I'm not going to look so much there. There is an airport in Thessaloniki. That may be where we're going. We can follow the highway all throughout. This highway, I think, goes there. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. Just enjoy the trip wherever it leads us. Okay. Yeah, that hovering is still bothering me. And it's different every time. You start on the ground, you start picking up, you start pulling the cyclic, and you're applying that left pedal to avoid that clockwise motion of the helicopter. So that one I can get around. But what happens afterward is such a random thing. Sometimes it goes to the back, sometimes it goes in front, and I can never isolate where it's really going. And then the adjustments I make oftentimes are too much, so it tends to go to the opposite way, and yeah, it just ends up becoming a pendulum through and through. Very hard. So when I see those videos of the Bell 47 hovering like it's nothing, it's like, what the heck? How are you guys doing that? Definitely have a lot more to learn. Hey Stone, thanks for joining. Yeah, trying to hang in there, man. Here in Singapore we are getting more restrictive as well. Just announced last night the measures for social distancing, for staying at home, measures for gathering in groups. They have become more restrictive because of the current cases that we're having. They're trying to prevent a second wave or a third wave, or how many, I don't know how many waves there are already. They're trying to get ahead of it, so we have to make do, we have to adjust. So the best way I can cope with that is by getting into the sim and getting super immersed with these helicopters. That's a very nice looking road and bridge. Look at that. Beautiful. Rotor turbulence when you hover is tricky. Look at the pro pilot and you flew into hangar. Just when you think you've gotten it right, it surprises you in some other way. Oh, it's a beast. Bounces you around like you're on a rough road. Oh yeah, it does feel like that. But I guess we do have something going for us. We do have an excuse, aside from the detent and stuff. It's that we can't really feel where the helicopter is going. The only way we can predict it is by looking and recognizing the direction the helicopter is going. But we can't feel anything about it. Lots of very interesting tunnels here, looks like. Oh yeah, I remember this. Didn't we drive here in Pro Mods? I remember in Greece you have those highways with lots of tunnels. This might be that one. I remember those tunnels also having like traffic lights for when you shouldn't enter the tunnel at all, or something along those lines. It's pretty cool. And of course, mountainous routes all over. Yeah, I guess so. That's one excuse we can use. Not getting a feel of the helicopter, where it's going, I would guess is a huge thing, right? Because muscle memory would easily kick in if you can feel something. But if all you have to go for is the visual side, is it going forward or backward? It's hard to trigger the muscle memory in, so you have to get a completely different training for it. So I imagine even real life pilots will have a hard time initially hovering inside the sim with that loss of feeling. It's like losing a whole sense, one of your senses, literally. Look at how shaky the panel is as you get close to that 100, that VNE. Still 3 to 4 months away from getting a vaccine. Older elderly family got the shot. Yeah. It's very true. Stay safe, man, and yeah, hope it goes all well. I myself don't have a schedule yet for the vaccine. There's no timeline yet for me, for us, in our age group here in SG. And that looks amazing. This is why I want to learn how to fly here for these kinds of sites. No specific landmark, no flashy anything, just natural beauties of the world, right? It's amazing when all of the US gets theirs. Man, the US is really ramping it up. They're doing a great job with the current vaccination rates. I think there is a website somewhere which measures the current vaccination rate. It doesn't account for future changes, but if you lock down the current vaccination rate, how long will it take for 70% of the population to get vaccinated? And I think for the US, it's like 70 days or something like that. It's phenomenal. It's great. It's an amazing rate. With India, I think it's like 2 years or something. With the Philippines, where I'm originally from, my goodness, it was currently at, I think, 13 and a half years. So hopefully the vaccination rate steps up. Otherwise, that doesn't sound so good. We're headed completely northbound now, which is not really where we want to go. 1 second, yeah. I think we want to head east here. Get away from the road and try to explore some mountains ourselves. We should be able to crest that no problem as long as we climb steadily enough. Doing okay. Yeah, that's very true. So we all need to stay home. Oh, I need to up my lights again. How do I reach it again though? One more thing, have you guys experienced that weird bug in the sim right now when you press escape? And then when you unpause, some of your axes are at 50%. I encounter that bug from time to time, and it's so tricky because I never know when it will happen. And sometimes it messes up my rudder pedals. The axis gets all weirded out. So I don't have full authority of my pedals anymore. It doesn't go from end to end anymore sometimes afterward. It's very weird. So I try not to pause the game as much as I can. I said game, pause the sim. Mortal sin. Okay, let's see if we can climb here. What did you say? 55 to 60 knot climb? Okay, let's try that. Game. True. Game with sim elements. Oh, no problem climbing through that. Man, those sounds, huh? Those sounds are amazing. We need more of these two-bladed rotors. And although they're not very practical from what I've seen, from what I've watched, they are very cool, so I'd really like to have them in the sim. Maybe not in real life, but then again, don't really have a helicopter in real life, do I? Flying low and slow is the name of the game. Should see a body of water as soon as we crest this mountain. If we're headed to the east, that is. Oh, that would have been a nice place to land. Perfect clearing for a helicopter there. Should we try to land, guys? I think I want to challenge myself. Might not be the best place to challenge myself though. If I hit the trees, will I get a black screen? I might, huh? Anyway, we'll load it up somewhere nearby. Yes. Uh-oh, he's feeling brave, I know, right? Hey, Lucy, glad you made it. How's the MAN you're driving? That looks pretty cool. Whose is that, like, from again? Is that Payware? Super great. MAN TGX 2020. Okay, let's start slowing down here. Not too much, just keep it like a steady descent, steady slowing down. Oh crap, all over the place. There we go. Steady, steady, steady. There it is. Don't descend too fast. Don't want any vortices in here. Looking good. Keep it at that level. Steady. Steady wins the race. Raise the collective a bit just to balance it out, and down we go. Why did that black screen that looked good? What happened? Was that too fast? I thought that was going super smooth. I've been cheated. Dang it. 1 second. Let's adjust the lights. There you go. Should be better. That looked good to me. Maybe I shouldn't have pulled down the collective so fast, huh? We're doing super well. Not super well, but... Man. Okay, so where can we go? Where can we start from then? Let's look for an airport that's nearby. There is somewhere here that's semi-close. Lima Golf Alpha X-Ray. We can practice a bit there before trying that again. Landed so smoothly you fell asleep. I know, right? But yeah, maybe not as ideal, huh? Alpha X-Ray is the one. Alexandria. That looks good. You know what? Let's start on the runway. Or maybe not, because I do want to... Nah, let's do that. Let's practice a bit. My goodness, time flies. It's 10 a.m. already for me. It's good. Fly. 5,500 feet up. Your chopper must have loved the performance there, huh? So we should be to the northeast. Let me show you that one. So that was where the incident happened. The incident that shall not be named. And that's where we're starting off. Pretty close. If we measure this one, should be 15 nautical miles away. Should be quick. Yeah, so we'll have to get closer a bit so we can resume the flight. That's fine. The incident, yes. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. How does that thing work? Let's see how this works. Let me raise the collective bit by bit. Getting to 20 inches now of manifold pressure. Still not hovering. Okay, let's apply a bit of left pedal in there. It's interesting, when you apply left pedal, the manifold pressure increases. Yeah, interesting. Let's get past that detent. There it is. Okay. Here known as Not My Fault. One of the best mirrors. Nice. HBBs. Also got an FECO S-Way. Nice. How much is it? Maybe I can look at that, into that eventually. Alright, so let's see if I can hover here. Did we land? Yes, we did. That one looks good. Where should I be looking? Yeah, I kind of can control it for a few seconds, but after a while it loses itself. I lose it. Yeah, really good looking truck. I'd have to look at that eventually. Posting a bridge shot, that's always good. Yeah, see how high that gets? So lower the collective here. There we go. There it is. Stay there. Stay. 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 If I repeat it long enough, will it work? Maybe. Just a tad. Yeah, that's okay-ish enough. Okay. Let's see if we can do that again later. Whoa, 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 whoa. All over the place. I might have gotten a bit out of hand there. Okay, got it under control again. Let's head to the southwest, where our body is. Remember those games like Diablo? When you die, you have to look for your corpse and pick up the stuff from there. This is just like how it is. Alright, southwest it is. That one. That ball is really helpful. That one. To let me know if I'm in a coordinated flight. Is that also the term here? If I have the right pedal input. $30 USD a piece, not bad. How are the sounds? For every cyclic input, you must counteract it, no matter how steady you feel. Yeah, that's a good point. Because oftentimes when you apply something, you feel you're good. But there's a bit of delay in there, right? You think you're steady already, but you have to constantly apply. So if you pull the cyclic just a bit, a teeny weeny bit back, you have to apply also a forward cyclic. Because if you stay there, or if you let go, then you can easily lose it. So tricky, my goodness. Hey, Gamaste! Even more gentle inputs, my goodness. We'll see. We'll try and land on that thing again. Where is it? Okay, I see it, I think. Hope we can find that spot again. Second time's the charm. How are you, Gamaste? What are you busying yourself with these days? Sounds are vanilla SES, which are not too bad. They stay updated for longer. And you can change the sounds to the sounds you like. Nice. What are the best MEN sounds out there right now? Is there an updated Krishbom one? I think we had EVRs at one point, but I'm not sure if those are still updated. This feels like a completely different landscape from where we tried to land, so maybe it's along those mountains, huh? It's a bit far. It's fine, let's warm up here. Even smaller cyclic movements, my goodness. Yeah, I don't think it is. Not the MAN one specifically, if I remember correctly. But yeah, that's good. Oftentimes the truck modder is a very different thing from a sound modder. So it's best if they stay on their lane, is what I mean. They have their own expertise. Sometimes when they try to cross the gap, sometimes it's not as good a result. Flying like this is so much simpler now. Like I remember when I first tried to fly this, even maintaining this level flight was such a chore. I guess eventually it will become second nature, huh? I'm not at that point right quite yet, but maybe, hopefully, eventually. A few more hours. Maybe not a few. Maybe just a few more 1,000 hours and I'll get there. Oh my goodness. This is so addictive. There's so much potential for learning. And it's very different because usually the potential for learning in an aircraft, especially the bigger ones, is more with the navigation, right? Yes, you have to learn how to land the plane. You have to learn how to taxi it, take off, control it, but those are not really oftentimes the case. We'll probably do that only like, I don't know, 2% of the entire flight, right? Takeoff and landing, or during an emergency, where in the sim it hardly ever happens. So oftentimes you end up learning about the navigation side of things, learning how to read charts, creating a flight plan, following different procedures, tweaking your FMC or FMS. And that's great. But this one really puts the flight in Flight Simulator. It removes all the other aspects at this moment and sticking really just to the aviating part, and it's just so cool learning about it. So much to learn. Yeah, exactly. Planes fly themselves. Exactly. Once you get on the air, you can literally have a hands-free experience, even without autopilot. Just trim it properly and you're there. Here, if the wind decides to blow a different way, then you have to adjust as necessary. So finicky. It's amazing. Yeah, exactly. Always fighting nature and physics. That's why there's so much science involved. And that's amazing. That scratches the geeky side of me, learning about these concepts and trying to apply them. It's such a fun rabbit hole to sink in through. Flying a plane is one thing, landing is a different world. But even landing in a plane, I mean, I'm not good at it either, but it's so much easier than landing a helicopter. Case in point, as you guys saw. Yeah. It's a different beast altogether. All the different inputs you'll have to work with. "15 miles is farther than I thought." Well, we can resume here already. So I guess we can do that. There you go. So we can either try that again, or I think it's better if because the mountain does seem a bit far away. Maybe we'll do that. We'll put a pin on that instead. And I guess unless you guys really want it, then I can continue. Just let me know. Otherwise, we go and head east. I'll practice those hovers, those controlled movements offline. And maybe here, when we get to an airport where we can get to, as far as we can get to. Get a bit lower. There we go. But yeah, there are so many different concepts with a helicopter that's not there in a plane, in a fixed wing plane. And it's just so amazing how people can think of it. Like, how did you think? I don't know, it's hundreds, thousands of years maybe, of continuous developments, right? Every person doing their share. Researching, if continuously updating, trying out, trial and error kind of thing, evolving. And now we have a full system that works, that acts and counteracts the forces that are acting against it. And even with that, it requires so much of a complicated control system to make it work. It's beautiful. Oh my goodness. For many years, helicopters were thought to be impossible. I think I'm at that stage right now. How many years did it take? I think I'll need that long to... They were at the time. First initial flying machine. Yeah, do you guys know your history? Which came first? I guess the planes happened first before helicopters did. Because flying a helicopter seems a bit more like, I don't know, brute force to me. Far before helicopter. Makes sense. Yeah. 1903. Literally hundreds of years. This one is 1946. But I guess this is not the first ever helicopter. It looks pretty modern. Is modern the word you'll use here? Maybe not, huh? Modern enough. But I think this is one of the first civil, at least, I think. First commercial helicopter. Yeah, looking forward to that moment when I can get a handle on things. We'll see. First practical helicopter was 1939, a full 36 years after the first plane. Makes sense. Designed for a flying machine in the 1488 drawing by Leonardo da Vinci. Yeah. That one's probably the initial design, huh? The spark. That started it all, maybe. White Tower of Thessaloniki. I like the sound of that. If you can reach it, that is. I don't see it anywhere here though. That's fine, we'll just go straight there. Maybe we can do a hover there if we see. We can try to do a hover. Out of ground effect hover. It's hovering a bit higher altitude. That one I still don't get, the in-ground effect and out-of-ground effect. Like, I understand the concept, but I don't feel it so much yet. Because I think from a concept point of view, it means in-ground effect, you need less power. So when you're low on the ground, you have that ground effect, it's cushioning you a bit. You need less power to stay hovering than if you were higher up. You need more power to stay hover. Yeah, I guess that does make sense. I guess I have experienced that here. I just don't often hover high, so I don't experience it enough. Although for me, I think hovering at higher altitudes is easier, simply because there are less chances of hitting something. If I mess up the hover, then I start moving, and that's fine. But if on the ground, near the ground, if I hover and mess up something, I end up inside the hangar, making a door for myself. That's probably the main reason why I find out-of-ground effect hovers to be easier. Riding a cushion, a bubble of air. Ah, that might be it, exactly. Right. Much more turbulent. That makes a lot of sense. So you would need a lot more input to counteract the vortices or whatever they are, and to counteract your counteract. It's a constant vicious cycle of counteracting the forces that are applying against you, that you are applying against them or against it. Makes sense. And when you're out of ground effect, there's none of the turbulence. So as long as your helicopter has enough power, you should be able to hover. Does that mean for practicing with hovers, practicing out of ground effect is a good starting point? And then when I get a handle on that, then I go in ground effect and try to deal with those turbulence? Is that a reasonable lesson plan? Let's always be a step ahead when in ground effect. Yeah, exactly. That's the hard thing. You thought you're safe, you thought you're hovering perfectly, and then suddenly it goes a completely different direction than what you're expecting. It's like, what the heck? And then you're trying to counteract that just enough. Not too much, because if you apply too much, then it'll go the opposite way and you'll have to counteract that again. And if it's too little, then it won't do anything. It won't counteract your current track. first step in real-life helicopter and flying lessons is hovering just above ground. Ah, dang it. That's what you mentioned takes a lot of time, right? What is it? 10 hours? Because everything starts and stops with the hover, so in all essences, it's the most fundamental thing in flying a helicopter. Makes sense. Dang it, so there is no escape for me. I really have to practice that. And how do they practice hovers? Like literally staying in place? Okay, that might be a good thing I could try. It's a bit boring in a way because you're not seeing anything new, right? So it's not really, you can't like group it together with sightseeing. So you won't be seeing any sights, you'll only be seeing the same thing if you're doing it correctly. If you're doing it wrong, then you'll be inadvertently sightseeing, which is not something you'd want anyway. Yeah, so I guess it's better if I do that offline. Might be painful to watch. With a very large area, that would make a lot of sense. Yeah. And the instructor always has his hand near the cyclic to take over at any moment if needed. We don't get that luxury here in the sim, but at least we have the luxury of being able to crash and not getting hurt. Instructor must be very patient, I can imagine. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I really didn't think about helicopters before, but they are super fun, huh? That channel that I was mentioning to you guys, helicopter lessons in 10 minutes or less. I think he's a real-life military helicopter pilot, or at least was. He has a lot of footage, so before the actual lesson, the first few seconds, there's like some cool music playing, and there's always a different footage of military helicopters doing formations, doing hovers, and it's just so cool. You know, you see like 6 helicopters side by side flying in formation, or starting from the ground and then hovering and then flying in formation, all 6 of them or more, and they're all in the same spot. They're keeping their distances against each other. It looks so cool. It's like, how the heck do you guys do that? Gets you inspired to learn. Because hovering is one thing, flying is one thing, but I imagine hovering and flying in formation along with other helicopters is a completely different matter altogether. Super nice. Lift off, try to stabilize, drift toward the boundary, set it down. Instructor takes over and recenters the copter. Oh wow. Yeah, I can imagine that. That part of that first part, I think I mastered that already. Lift off, try to stabilize, and drift toward the boundary. Yes. I got that nailed down. So at least I got step 1. Recentering the copter, that might be a tricky thing. Do you know where they, how do you say this? Because I'm thinking if there is like a best practice on where I should keep my vision in. Should I be looking far, like when you're landing in a fixed wing plane? On the flare, you look at the farther end of the runway. In hovering a helicopter, I'm wondering if there is like a certain spot that I should be looking at, and then letting the rest of my peripheral vision take care of everything else, basically. So I think when I watched Jeff Favignano, he mentioned something like that. When he was landing, he was saying something like keeping his eyes fixed on that like house from a distance, and then basing everything else based on that fixed point. Something along those lines. Your reference point will vary compared to everyone else. So reaction times will be different. Yeah, I think I'll need something that's fine-tuned to me for the slowest reflexes ever. Oh my goodness. What happened to the light? That should work, I think. So let me adjust this, Here we go again. Left hand on the cyclic is never a good thing. You can see the impact of it already. Oh my goodness. Okay, there you go. Multitasking is hard. Alright, I think that's Thessaloniki up ahead. Put a helicopter school in the game when they officially include helicopters with learning aids. Oh yeah, that will be great, huh? Yeah, I guess that's a... Oftentimes people are saying, why is it that Microsoft can't do something when third-party developers, freeware third-party developers can? And it applies not only to helicopters, it also applies to, for example, like the replay system. We have a freeware replay system already made by just a guy, right, who knows programming. And Microsoft cannot implement it officially. But I think that's saying that's not really the whole picture, because when Microsoft implements something, they have to implement it end to end. Like, you can't just put a half-baked replay system in there and call it official. It has to be smooth, it has to work in all environments, has to be seamless. And that additional effort really makes it take time. It's not going to be as quick as those freeware developers or those third-party developers who can implement something and it works great in most parts, but it might have some bugs. That won't be enough for Microsoft. In the same way with helicopters, they not only have to tweak the flight model to make it compatible with helicopters fully, I think, as you mentioned, that they also have to implement some kind of system around it. Whether that's in the form of visual aids, guided assistance from the AI, or tutorial missions, something along those lines. But they cannot expect everyone to know how to fly helicopters already. So, taking that into consideration, always an important thing. So they can't implement it half-baked. Always has to be an end-to-end approach. Oh man, this highway looks great, doesn't it? Feels a bit like the US from this point of view. So yeah, I think helicopters will take some time to be officially supported. But yes, hopefully when it does have all those essential things. Behind me. Where are you? Oh, there! Super cool! Hey, Muraz! Let the pro show us how it's done. Lots of hours on his belt. Cool stuff, man. Hey, Deacon. It could be, yes, Deacon, in the Airbus H135, the freeware helicopter, they specifically have an Xbox option in there. So there's a basic flight model, an advanced flight model, and there is an Xbox flight model. So if you have a controller, that would be perfect for you, I think. With this specific helicopter in particular, I'm not sure if they support an Xbox controller though. There are certain settings here, easy, medium, realistic, and I think you can tweak the settings to make it compatible with an Xbox controller. You might just have to fiddle with the settings a bit, but yes, it should be possible. Yeah, welcome back. About to be Burwazed. think so. Let's see where he is. I can find him. Sneaky. Oh, there he is. Oh crap, where are we headed? Okay, 1 second. Man, this looks great, doesn't it? Now, where is the thing? The White Tower of Thessaloniki. 1 second. Why can't I see his name? There it is. Morvaz. Trying to see where the tower could be. Now there is the airport right there. I see the approach lights. Hey, evidence. I hope so, evidence. I hope so. From what the developers are saying, Microsoft hasn't been very responsive to them. And they've been trying for months already, so I'm not sure what the problem is. If it's a workload kind of thing, maybe the Microsoft guys are swamped, or if there's a conflict in their mod, their plugin. But I'm not sure. If the helicopter gets enough traction, if we can spread the news, the great news about this helicopter, then I'm sure that will put some pressure on Microsoft to add it to their marketplace. I mean, they will benefit from it, right? So I think it's great that if we can share this to other people, that such a how do you say, a quality helicopter mod exists already in Microsoft Flight Sim. Hey Breezewind, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. Yeah, 35 for this one. The flight model makes it so much worth it, in my opinion. Yeah, the developers are saying they've been trying for months to get it added to the marketplace, but Microsoft hasn't been responsive, so I'm not sure what the reason could be. Where the heck is that tower? It should be right in front of us. Okay, really not so much in there yet. Maybe around there, right before that bend on the coast. Should be there, I think. Maybe we can start descending here. We are a bit high. Let me try to get a handle on my stability. Man, I love how this looks though, this city. And the frame rate is not bad at all, is it? Given this level of complexity in there. It is very tempting. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of helicopters, but now I'm a full-blown fan. I'm a convert. The Airbus into the marketplace, the H135, no, not yet, because they don't have a free marketplace yet. So the only items in the marketplace are paid ones, from what I know. So right now, from what I know, the Airbus H135 helicopter, you have to download from FlightSim.2. Look at that! Cool stuff! Morvaz buzzing in. B47G is the ICAO code for this aircraft, is it? Nice. Getting too slow. Lose a bit more altitude. I think around 500 feet would be perfect. Get close and personal to the city. Now the tower should be here, but I don't see anything. This might be fake. Yeah, right? Should be right there. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Alright. Let's bring up the collective again. Get some power in. Morvaz literally doing circles on us, around us. My pleasure, Deacon. Thanks for joining. Look at that dude. Super cool. Yeah, that's the fun of MP. Nice. So it looks like that tower was a hoax. Maybe it's that one supposedly, but not in the sim at the moment. Not even in Bush Talk Radio. Where we can see there is Mount Shortiatis, which is, I think, that guy right there, that mountain. Sorry, we're all over the place, guys. 1 second. I'm trying to multitask, which is a bad thing. Let me play this for you.
Mount Korchiatis or Horshitis, known in antiquity as Sissos or Kissos, is a mountain in central Macedonia, Greece. It rises southeast of Thessaloniki, peaking at 1,201 meters. Besides the city of Thessaloniki, there are several suburbs and villages located on the foothills of Korchiatis,
Stadium, we have to land there.
Korchiatis and the affluent suburb of Panorama, both of them belonging in the Piliphatos municipality.
It's a very
The
slow
mountain's
helicopter.
landscape is wooded, with part of these woods making
Around
up
70
the
miles per
Thessaloniki
hour.
Sioux Forest National Park. A
It's the
full wind
normal
that occurs on
cruising
the
speed.
Gulf was named after the mountain as well. Mount Korchiatis played a crucial role for the water supply of Thessaloniki from ancient up until modern times. In the late Byzantine period, the Chortites monastery on the northern slopes of the mountain provided the city and the region east of it with fresh water by an aqueduct whose remains have been partly preserved.
Okay, what do we do now? How do we do this? The 2D stadium. With concentration. Oh my goodness. Keep it slow, keep it steady. Pull it back a bit. Oh crap. You know what happened? I think we fell into the vortex thingy. You saw when I pulled the collective, when I pulled it up, it actually steepened my descent. Yeah, vortex ring state for the win. I thought I was descending pretty slow, but apparently not slow enough. VRS for the win. Oh my goodness, it's a real thing. So it's a good test, right? It is implemented for this helicopter. Settling in power. PC was built by NASA. Close enough. Okay, so we can at least start in Macedonia. Yeah, that's where Murwas is. So let's stay here. How can we see him? Can we add him? No, it's okay. Alright, so let's start here. And let's fly there. Is that good? 90 at 6 knots. No, I'm not a real life pilot, as evidenced by my skills. Or lack thereof. But yeah, I am learning and I'm enjoying learning thanks to the sim, thanks to the YouTube videos. Yeah, perfect for sightseeing, exactly. The canopy is beautiful, isn't it? Cats say you still have 7 lives. Soft landing in that field. Yeah, show off. I'll be with you. Make room. I have to do that before the stream ends. Oh my goodness, VRS is real, huh? I didn't think it could happen at that rate. Maybe I was descending too fast. Yes, he does. And he's been flying endless hours with it. There you go. Doesn't have adverse yaw. Yeah. Yeah. Comes with its own custom flight model. Same here. Got it on release day. But our skills are quite far apart. There's more ones waiting for me. Alright, let's see if we can get a gentle hover first. Warm up. Let me see if I look at the distance. Yeah, it's moving to the left, so counteract. Counteract. Yeah, it's so hard. Okay, keep it in the center at the very least. And when you feel like you're falling, pull up on the cyclic as necessary. But no, that's too late already. My goodness, it's such a... It does feel real. No training wheels here. Yeah, it will take some time for me to get there, unfortunately. Have you flown helicopters before, Murwaz? I think I'll have to catch up with that. At once it's a bit manageable. That looks good. Constant corrections, constant corrections. Moving to the left. So let's correct it to the left here. Get aligned again. Counteract that to the right a bit. Not so much. Oh my goodness, that's hard. Alright, let's get to that stadium and try to land. I'll practice this the rest offline. Yeah, it's even getting that transverse flow kind of thing, where once you start building up airspeed, there's a tendency to move to the right, so you have to apply left cyclic for it. It's beautiful. Okay, where's the stadium? Old past from forgotten days. Nice. Fancy meeting each other here, huh? Cool stuff. Alright, let's get to the stadium. Exactly where Murwaz is. The Huey. Oh wow. You guys are pros. I have a lot of catching up to do. What's the concept with the rotor RPM? When you don't have the governor, when do you adjust the throttle? Is it only when you change the collective or also in other instances? Is that good? Yes, that's good. The moment a while ago when we were trying to descend into the stadium, the moment my cockpit started shaking at that slow and steady descent, I got nervous. Like, this doesn't look right. Why is the cockpit shaking? I must have gotten into something. And when I pulled the collective up and I started descending faster, that's when I knew we're doomed. Okay, so let's see. So we can do a proper approach, I guess. So we can slow down when we're near. Try to get close to Murwas as much as we can. Second, let me get Sky Park in here. Yeah. See if I missed any messages. Yeah, without pedals, it might be difficult, huh? Flying a helicopter. Unless you're willing to have, I don't know, like your stick as the rudder or anti-torque pedals. So you always have a twisted stick. I guess it's possible. I guess it can be doable. Just a bit more troublesome. Adding one more level of complexity. Need to gain some airspeed. Right. There is a panel below, supposedly, an Amazon Gear panel, which contains my specs. Let me know if you manage to find it. If you're in desktop, if you scroll down, it should be there. On mobile, I'm not sure how to make it appear. I think there should be an eye somewhere or something. Okay, great. Okay, Murwas made room for me. No pressure. Oh my goodness. Perfect is good enough. Dang it. Right now, the best I hope for is landing in the general area. Right. Let's listen. Lower the collective. Right pedal. Continue that descent. More right pedal here as I'm really letting go of the cyclic, lowering it as much as I can. Starting to lose airspeed here. It's not ideal. Let's pull it back up to 20. Alright, let's see how this works. Or was just hovering there, showing us his skills? Showing off? Pro. Okay. Keep at it. Slow it down. Stay here. There it is, there it is. Yeah, I have to pull up the cyclic a bit to slower the descent, but right there I think I pulled it too much, huh? Okay, let's see if I can get myself stable here enough and not spinning like there's no tomorrow. That we came so close. Okay, okay. Let's see, let's see. There's plenty of space, plenty of space. Focus, focus. No pressure. So let's make whatever Morwaz is doing. Oh, somehow it landed. I don't think we call that a win though. Let's try to do that again. 3080, no wonder. Yeah, it helps a ton. Okay, there you go. Let's see if we can do something like that. Hover in control. Let's go to the middle, try to hover here. There is like an X there, you guys see? I would like to land at that spot. There it is. I think my main problem is I don't really know where the helicopter is going. So the inputs that I'm doing to counteract are all going to a different direction. Maybe not the best place to practice hovering because I realized the ground is not that even. But we can make it work somehow. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Where should I look? Morwaz, where do you look when you hover? Maybe take some best practice tips. Do you look far? Do you look right below you? Your hands hurt. I can tell. Just go by feel. Thanks for the useful tip. Okay, let's see. That's a mess. A bit ahead on a point. Okay, let's see. We have a few minutes to fiddle around. Get some practice in. There it is. I think it best works for me if I look at the distance. Because if I look close, it feels too... How do you say? It feels like things are moving too fast, so I think I have to have a fixed point from the far end. But then again, can't quite tell where my chopper is going, if that's the case. That's the most stable landing I've done. I'll take that. But hovering in itself, that one I haven't even been able to do yet. Let's try it a bit more. How high should I be hovering? Like this high is enough? This was too high, I think, right? Maybe like this? Oh my goodness, that's hard. Oh. You're half Greek. Hey, Dazzy. We are in Thessaloniki now. Just hanging out by this stadium, you might know this. Nice city. Sure looks like it. Looks like a massive city. Can slide on the ground. What does that mean? Whoa. Tap in there? Control yourself. Stay in ground effect, but it's really tricky, yeah. Sure seems like it. That's true. Experience. Yeah, have to feel the force, right? Perfect for May 4th. I can somehow be in the similar area, but hovering is just out of the equation at this point. Fun learning about it though. Can expect me to do a lot more of this practicing offline. I think practicing on the runway is nice. I think that's what Rotor Sim Pilot is doing when he has a tutorial video teaching how to hover, and he was in the runway, because in the runway you have a clear indication where you are. If you're going too much to the left, going too much to the right, now you adjust. So you have a clear indication of which point you're at. And that's nice. And I suddenly lost it. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's plop it down. I think I'm happy with that for now. You clicked. Yeah, I think I need to sleep on it, let the brain process all the information, and then I'll try again. But for now, we survived, and that's good enough. Awesome. Well, that was exciting. Thanks guys for hanging out. Leave it there for now. Hopefully next time we'll see. And hopefully next time that would be nice if you can actually see the blades moving out, huh? Getting affected by the grass blades moving out of the helicopter. That was the missing thing I noticed. Maybe Microsoft will implement that together with the official implementation. Be cool. Have a good one. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, catch you next time. We'll see. We'll continue the tour. Have a great day. Have a great night. Catch you on Friday for some trucking. Bit of a different vibe. Thanks, and Clumsy Trucking. Bye-bye. Stay safe, guys. Thank you.